Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a challenge that literally plagues local service businesses and digital marketers everywhere. We're talking about building a local landing page that actually ranks and, more importantly, actually converts. Now, you know the exact pages I'm talking about, right? A company creates 100 different city pages by just blindly duplicating the exact same content and just swapping out the town name. It's a lazy, generic local template, and guess what? Google knows it, and your customers definitely know it. So if you want to outrank local competitors today, you have to build a genuine money page, a page that proves undeniable, hyperlocal contextual relevance.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to do a top-to-bottom anatomical teardown of a high-converting, SEO-optimized city landing page. First, we'll cover the money page strategy. Then, hero and local signals, followed by the localized process. Fourth is building neighborhood trust. Fifth is advanced technical trust signals. And we'll wrap it all up with the SEO tech blueprint. All right, let's jump into Section 1, the money page strategy, understanding your highest converting assets. So before we actually start building, we really need to understand the architecture of local search. You see, a lot of businesses put all their energy into this broad parent location page, but in reality, that parent page, it mostly just acts like a directory. The individual city pages that branch off from it, those are the real drivers of your hyperlocal search traffic. So let's define what this money page actually is. It's the specific URL structure, your domain/location/city name, whose absolute sole purpose is to rank for hyperlocal searches. We're talking about high-intent queries like roofing repair in Tomball or SEO services Dunedin. The primary goal here isn't just general brand awareness. Its goal is capturing highly motivated, location-specific leads and converting that exact traffic into paying customers. Now, the reason we have to treat these as totally distinct assets comes down to how search algorithms have evolved. There is a massive difference between generic template swaps and genuinely localized context. That outdated method, literally just using the find and replace keyboard shortcut to swap out Dallas for Fort Worth on a generic template, it simply doesn't work anymore. To win the top spot today, you have to prove to Google that your page has genuine, hyper-local contextual relevance. It has to feel truly local, both to the algorithm crawling the page and the actual human reading it. Moving right along to Section 2, hero and local signals, validating the visitor above the fold. Let's start our virtual scroll down the page, beginning right at the very top. The above-the-fold experience is where immediate validation is absolutely crucial. Honestly, you have a fraction of a second to tell both human visitors and search engine crawlers that they are in exactly the right place. So the crucial point is keeping your primary headline, your H1, super direct and keyword focused. For example, we buy houses in Tomball, Texas as is, or digital marketing and local SEO in Dunedin. Notice how there is zero ambiguity there? It clearly states the core service alongside the exact city and state. But hey, it's not just about the text. You really need to skip those generic, glossy corporate stock photos. Instead, use an image that actually represents the local area. Maybe an authentic photo of your team working on site, or just a really clean graphic showcasing your local availability. Pair that with a prominent, simple call to action button right there, and boom, you instantly validate the visitor's search intent. As we move just below that hero section, you need to start weaving in hyperlocal subtext. Please, whatever you do, don't just write a boring sentence that says, "We serve city name." Think about it. Does a generic copied and pasted template know anything about Spring Creek? No way. Instead, you have to prove to Google's proximity algorithms that you actually know the area. Drop in specific local landmarks naturally. Mention the historic downtown district. Reference a geographic feature like Spring Creek, or bring up major crossroads like Business 249. Mentioning surrounding suburbs or well-known local hubs builds immense local contextual relevance. It essentially tells Google, yes, these people actually operate exactly where they say they do. On to Section 3, the localized process, removing friction step by step. As we scroll a bit further down into the body of the landing page, you have to remember that residents looking for local services want to know exactly how frictionless your process is going to be in their specific hometown. And this brilliantly illustrates how a location-specific three-step process builds massive confidence by integrating local expertise directly into the workflow. Step 1, submit your details, saying it takes just 2 minutes to call your local line. Step 2, get your local market analysis, highlighting that within 24 hours, an expert reviews recent neighborhood comparables. Step 3, close on your timeline, mentioning seamless coordination with local title companies. Do you see how we aren't just vaguely saying step 1, 2, 3? We're continually reinforcing the local neighborhood aspect of the service. Let's look at Section 4, Building Neighborhood Trust, Leveraging Hyperlocal Social Proof. Continuing our scroll, we hit the proof section. Now, you can claim you're the absolute best in the business all day long, but nothing builds trust faster than seeing actual neighbors validate your work. Take a look at this mini case study. We recently helped a family in City who needed to sell an inherited property during probate. We closed in 7 days, allowing them to bypass repairs entirely. See, instead of just slapping up a wall of random 5-star reviews, highlight the effectiveness of filtering your reviews so you only display clients located in that specific city. Writing these quick 2 to 3 sentence narrative case studies builds genuine neighborly trust. People just want to see that you've successfully solved problems for folks living right down their street. Next up, Section 5, Advanced Technical Trust Signals, the footer and utility section. Now we transition to the very bottom of the page. This spot is absolutely crucial because it's where the digital world powerfully bridges with physical geography to send massive trust signals to search engines. Seriously, this checklist is non-negotiable for a true money page. First off, directly embed an interactive Google map. If you have a physical office there, pin it. If you're a service area business, embed a map highlighting the general city boundary. Second, and this is vital, provide text driving directions from a major local highway or landmark to your office. I really want to point out that these driving directions, they aren't just for human drivers. They actually act as a massive local entity's trust signal for search engines. It forcefully anchors your digital presence right to the physical local infrastructure. Finally, you want to add a few highly specific local FAQs. Let's look at an exact FAQ example. How fast can you visit my property in City? Presenting a question like this demonstrates perfectly how to address localized logistics. You could also ask about specific state or city closing costs, or maybe even town regulations. But here is the really critical technical part. You must back this FAQ section with JSON LD schema markup. Schema markup is basically just a type of code that structures your data so Google can read it directly and effortlessly. It essentially hands the algorithm your local relevance on a silver platter. And finally, Section 6, the SEO Tech Blueprint, behind-the-scenes structure. Let's move to the back end and see how this all builds together. We are transitioning from what the user sees to the exact structural blueprint the search engine crawls. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is it gives you a perfect, screenshot-worthy checklist to cleanly tie all your on-page elements together. Your URL slug should strictly follow that domain/location/city name architecture. Your title tag, it needs a strict formula: core service and city name state abbreviation followed by your brand name. And your meta description has to hook the searcher with the service and city right away, state your primary benefit, and end with a super clear call to action like get your free estimate today. If you followed this exact grid, your technical foundation is going to be flawless. Which brings us to the ultimate litmus test for hyperlocal SEO. Think about this for a second. If Google stripped the exact city name off your landing page entirely, would anyone reading it still know exactly where you are, based on the landmarks, the localized process, and the specific directions? If the answer is no, then I hate to break it to you, but you don't have a hyperlocal money page. You just have a generic template. So I challenge you to pull up your own city landing pages today and ask yourself this exact question. Put in the effort to weave in genuine hyperlocal signals, and just watch how much more effectively you capture and convert your local market. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.